If you've lost weight before but can't get rid of belly fat, what if you've been making the same critical mistake that traps people in an endless cycle? You drop pounds, you look better in clothes, and you start to feel great. But that stubborn fat around your stomach refuses to budge. And even worse, now you've gained all the weight back and you look even worse than when you started. With what I've learned throughout my own journey and now coaching clients, I'll show you exactly why this happens and how to fix it. Not just for the next few months, but permanently. Here's what most people do to give themselves the false illusion of success. They slash calories hard, they add tons of cardio, skip the weight training, and then they watch the scale drop fast. On paper, that sounds like the perfect approach, but why is this far from optimal? When you lose weight like this without proper weight training or adequate protein, you end up losing 20 to 25% of that total weight from your muscle. The problem with that is that your metabolism slows down, you look softer at your current weight, and maintaining that weight loss becomes next to impossible. And on top of that, life happens, so you're likely to regain the weight, and now it's even harder to work off because you're gaining back pure fat, not any of the muscle you lost. So now you're at the same weight but with worse body composition. You've got a way higher body fat percentage, way more fat, way less muscle. And on top of that, that belly fat you want to get rid of is more prominent than it was before. This creates a super vicious cycle because naturally you'll try to diet harder than you did last time, and with that comes even more muscle loss. This means your metabolism will continue to drop as you lose more muscle. With less muscle, you'll need fewer calories to maintain your current weight, and this makes the results way harder to achieve. People repeat this cycle 2, 3, 4 times, and it gets harder and harder each time. You're making your body composition worse than it was before, requiring extreme measures just to get back to your starting point. Here's what you came here for. It's time to stop thinking like a dieter. That approach already makes you feel defeated from the beginning. Instead, it's time to start thinking like an athlete. So here's what actually works. First, you need to prioritize strength training. Lift weights 2 to 3 times per week minimum with a structured program based on compound movements. Once you have the compound movements dialed, like your squats, deadlifts, bench presses, overhead presses, rows, and pull downs, you need to focus on progressive overload, coming back to the gym stronger every single week, adding an additional rep or adding additional weight or slowing down the negative, and then doing that every single week of your program. This signals your body to not just keep muscle while losing fat, but also potentially add muscle. That alone isn't enough. Once you have your training dialed in, now it's time to focus on nutrition. You need to eat a low processed, high protein, high nutrient based diet. This means getting between 1 and 1.3 grams of protein per pound of body weight. High protein means high satiety, and it also incentivizes your body to hold on to that muscle mass. It's a non-negotiable for muscle retention, and especially if you're trying to gain muscle while you're losing fat. The nutrients from your other macros will help support your energy, mental state, and overall health. But eating clean isn't enough. You need to eat in a moderate calorie deficit of 500 below maintenance. Slashing calories hard is a pathway to defeat. Patience is key for this process. A smaller deficit lets you keep and hold on to muscle while losing fat without stalling out or being hungry all the time. You'll see slower changes on the scale but better body recomposition. Muscle is much more dense than fat, so even if the scale isn't going down the way you want it to, just know you are losing fat while gaining muscle, because over time your waist will shrink, your strength will go up, and those results are sustainable for life. So obviously this approach takes longer. Instead of dropping 30 pounds in 3 months per se, it might take up to 6 months. But here's the difference. Those 30 pounds will be purely body fat instead of fat and muscle. You'll end up at a much lower body fat percentage and look way more lean and defined. More importantly, you've built a stronger metabolism that allows you to eat more calories while maintaining your new weight. The mental battle of going back and forth when you finally start to make progress will be gone. You'll lose the feeling of fighting your body for the bare minimum. Patience with this exact roadmap is how you get those results and keep them forever. You do this right once, and you'll never struggle with belly fat again. So the choice is yours. You can either go back to a quick fix or sustainable transformation that lasts for life. To dive into these concepts even deeper than I discussed today, so you could lose 30 pounds of fat while gaining 10 pounds of muscle as quickly as possible, you can download my free body recomposition master guide with the link below. I'll catch you guys on the next one.